Recently, I was watching an interview of the young women who sing the songs in that movie, K-pop Demon Hunters. And one of them was recalling the first time she watched the movie on screen. The way she framed her story, she said, "I am emotionally constipated." And she went on to explain that what she meant by that was that it takes me a really long time to process my emotions. And so I guess in retrospect, I was overdue for a cry because 5 minutes in, I was bawling my eyes out. And it's this little detail in the film, like you blink and you miss it. It was a Korean rice roll that we call kimbap, and it was animated on screen for the first time ever. And it really touched the nerve. I remember back in the day when I was growing up in America, I was one of only a few Korean kids in my school district. And I remember every single day going to school with my Barbie lunchbox, and inside I would have this Korean rice roll. And I was so embarrassed. And I would break this thing off one piece at a time and eat it in secret. And the way she phrased it, I didn't want this stanky rice roll to be the reason why I had no friends. And now I see this thing that I've always loved, but I've always been ashamed of, being portrayed on film. In a mainstream movie, which would eventually become the #1 movie in the world for months. And you have no idea how validating that is. I don't know if you realize this, people love that movie for different reasons. People love it because of the animation and the songs and the story. But that movie is an homage to Asian culture, especially Korean culture. It's a celebration of their language and their music and their animation and the people and their food. And once you understand that, it gives you a new perspective. So when that girl says, "I am emotionally constipated," she frames it like a joke, but she's actually talking about something really painful that a lot of people can relate to. It's so painful that I have to frame it like a throwaway joke. And the vibe is like, look, I have been so used to being on the outside looking in. I'm so used to being rejected, not belonging, being the other, that I've forgotten what it's like to dream with the possibility that things could be different, that things could be new. And so basically, because I've been hurt and disappointed for so long in the past, I set the bar low. So I won't be hurt again. So I won't be disappointed again. In a certain sense, that's the whole point of that song, Golden. So in K-pop Demon Hunters, there's that song, Golden. It starts off low and slow, but then over time it gets louder, and she sings higher and higher and higher. It's a song about living in a world where I have no voice. Like, in a certain sense, it's easy to fit in. All I gotta do to fit in is wear a different mask, change my external appearance, the way I interact with people. But what I really want is not really fit in. What I want is to be seen and known and loved, to live from that space, to breathe from that space, and to speak and sing from that space. That is actually the deep aspiration of the heart. But again, sometimes we forget. We've been hurt so much in the past. I forget what it's like to hope. I forget what it's like to dream. I forget what it's like to imagine the possibility of something different, something new, something fresh. But the Lord never forgets. The Lord always remembers your hopes and your dreams and your deep desires, because He's the one who put them there in the first place. And so what you'll notice over time, if you're open, if you're courageous and you're brave, the Lord at the appropriate time will fan the flames of your heart. Don't settle. This is the thing you want. This is the thing you long for. And so finally you realize, my goodness, my deepest desires are always what God has wanted for me.